Welcome to the Jedi Ranger. I'm JohnBerry555, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 4th episode of the 5th season of Phineas and Ferb. So, the two parts of the episode, well, the A episode and the B episode. For A is Tropey McTropeFace, and for B is Biblio-Blast. So, in Tropey McTropeFace, the boys, they build a gigantic zoetrope. And that's the episode really for them. Though, before Candace has a chance to bust them, Doofenshmirtz and Nato hits it, turns it on the side, and it rolls on and goes on its own adventure. That includes falling in love with a Ferris wheel and defeating Doofenshmirtz. Yes, Doof gets defeated by Tropey McTropeFace, which is what they had named the zoetrope. The zoetrope also shows up at Buford's family reunion, where apparently it's a tradition for them to cut a tree, and Baljeet just shows up because he has nothing better to do. What else does it do? It actually goes into space where a flying spaghetti monster zoetrope sends it back to Earth, and the episode ends with the zoetrope, Tropey McTropeFace, finally arriving back at the park with a Ferris wheel, and basically joins in, and suddenly there are 3 small merry-go-rounds that weren't there before. It is ridiculous. I'm sure I missed a few things that Tropey McTropeFace got on its journey, but I just love how it's funny. Also, Perry had a hard out at noon, and so did Candace, because Candace was supposed to give Perry a bath, which is just hilarious. So, Perry just quickly tries to follow Doof's scheme, which is just to tilt things at 90 degrees, so he could tilt City Hall 90 degrees, so he could run in and take over. Yeah, not the best thought out plan, but still better thought out than his plan in the next episode. But like I said, Tropey McTropeFace is actually who defeats Doofenshmirtz in this episode, which is just hilarious. And by the way, if you don't know where Tropey McTropeFace comes from, basically that idea came from a online poll to name a research vessel Boaty McBoatface, and that has just become an online meme ever since. And then in 4B, Biblio-Blast, well, Phineas and Ferb and the gang, well, they're going to build a new bookshelf for Lawrence after his collapse. So they go a bit overboard, of course, which Lawrence does very much like. And during this episode, Candace is trying to, trick her mom into seeing what the boys are doing to no luck. But near the end of the episode, when Lawrence says, "Come and see what the boys built," she goes, "Oh, no problem." Well, one, he doesn't necessarily exaggerating quotes like Candace does. Well, we know Candace is telling the truth. And also, two, she knew that the boys were helping Lawrence build a new bookcase. So, Lawrence comes in, it says, "See what the boys built," tells her that they're done with that project. And of course, because of Doof's plan, the bookcase shrinks from the elaborate just to a normal bookcase. And that's because Doof's plan is to basically make an army of plant hymns, so meat plants as he calls them, and they're omnivorous, not carnivorous, because apparently that wasn't evil enough because they wouldn't be eating plants. And he loses control of them because they just try to eat everything. And they're eventually defeated, but not before the bookcase is shrunk down to normal size. And by the way, doing all of this, including the previous episode and the previous episodes, Buford is wanting the boys to make a hot tub bread bowl. A bread bowl hot tub, which they're slowly being talked into it, so it's only a matter of time before that's the episode. And that's been a running gag this entire time. Also, apparently, Isabella has a Phineas doll with a tuxedo on that's designed to go on a wedding cake. She's planning ahead. She definitely is. Also, there's basically 2 songs. I'm reading, which is when they're building the bookcase, and then I'm eating, which is what basically while the plants are eating the bookcase. And also, during the credits, it has basically a repeating loop of Baljeet using a book to hit one of the plants where the score is making a parody, an homage to, I want to say, Psycho. And if I got the right horror thriller film in mind. But yeah, it's just crazy. I also want to mention, because this episode does have Linda, the boy's mother, actually see what they built, so not realizing the previous craziness, the previous over-the-topness, if you will, of it all. But she also got to see Tropey McTropeFace, because she was returning from the store when, by the way, during the previous episode in Tropey McTropeFace, there's been someone who's been stealing umbrellas from mothers. Just that. And did that from Linda. And then Tropey McTropeFace comes by and she says she'd be so mad if she ever learned who built that. And it was her own boys and she doesn't even know it. But I just kind of wanted to bring that up to show that somehow in this episode, she does get to see both inventions the boys made, but never got to properly see them in their proper context, which I think is just kind of hilarious. Also, too, both these episodes do somewhat rely on breaking the formula, and they've been doing that a lot more in Season 5 than they did in the earlier seasons, because we already know the formula for Phineas Ferb, so they're going to be breaking it a lot more. Tropey McTropeFace has the invention disappear before Candace even has a chance to tell her mother. In Biblio-Blast, the invention is something that basically everyone knows what's going on, just Linda doesn't realize the actual scale that the boys were making. But that breaking the formula helps derive some additional humor. Of course, there's more to talk about, but we're going to leave that for the comment section down below, so let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.